Her feet never liked silence. Every step she took made noise, not from shoes or anklets, but from the weight of thoughts she couldn't hush. That evening, her toes curled against the dusty floor of the healer's hut, trying not to shake. A bitter wind danced through the cracks. The healer didn't speak. He just kept grinding leaves like the answers were hiding inside. Her mother had coughed 3 sons in a row. Not that playful, dry cough, the kind that sounds like a drumbeat from inside the chest. The one that wakes trees. The one that sends birds flying away from rooftops. Her skin had gone pale like river ash, her eyes lost their shine, and her voice melted into whispers. "She doesn't have much time," the healer said finally, without lifting his head. "The sickness is deep. Older than my hands. Meaner than my roots." The girl blinked. Once. Twice. "What can I do?" He looked up now, eyes as dry as old yam. You must bring a flame from the boy who dances in the dark." She thought she misheard. "Who?" "You heard me. He dances in the dark. Alone. No drum. No moonlight. But if you touch his fire, your mother will live." She stood still, thinking of stories she'd heard but never believed. The boy with eyes like coal, skin like night, and a laugh that made fires flicker. They said he never aged. They said he could turn breath into butterflies. But they also said, he had a price. How do I find him? You won't find him. He'll find you. Just walk into the part of the forest where even the wind forgets to blow. She turned to leave. Her heartbeat was doing too much, like it was trying to warn her. That night, she told her mother she'd be back. No tears. Just soft fingers on wrinkled skin and a whispered promise. Then she stepped into the bush. Past the tall grasses that whispered secrets. Past the tree that hummed a song only babies understood. Past the place where frogs talked too much. The air grew thick. Heavy. Like someone poured smoke into it. Even the moon refused to follow her. And then, without a sound, he was there. Sitting on a stone shaped like a sneer. Shirtless. Hair wild. One eye burning red, the other, empty. "You want to save her?" His voice was water dripping into fire. She nodded. "Then you must hook up." The words floated in the air like smoke from roasted plantain. Confusing. Hot. Unfair. "With me," he added, licking his teeth. Her fists tightened. "Why?" "Because I like you," he said. "And the fire won't burn for just anyone." She stood frozen, like her soul had paused. She could smell his skin, like rain and charcoal. Her lips refused to part. The trees leaned in, curious. "You can say no," he said, stretching like a lazy lion. "But your mother, she'll say goodbye by tomorrow's sunrise." She stared at the fire behind him. It danced like it knew things. Like it was older than pain. Her breath came slow. Her eyes stung. The decision wrapped itself around her neck like a stubborn scarf. Then she said the words. Quiet. Bitter. Brave. "I'll do it." The fire didn't wait for her to feel ready. It leapt like it was hungry, licking the ground between them. He stood, every muscle coiled like a snake waiting to strike, but he didn't move closer. Just stared, long enough for her skin to grow goosebumps. "Don't look scared," he said, voice lazy, like he had all night. "This isn't punishment. This is choice. Yours." But it wasn't, not really. She nodded. The flame cracked, then stretched toward her like it had fingers. He stepped back into the shadows, and the trees seemed to sigh in his place. "Take my hand," he said, extending it. Slim fingers, strong wrists, a vein pulsing like a drumline. She placed her palm in his. Fire kissed her skin, but it didn't burn. It hummed, like a song her grandmother used to hum when the oil was hot and the fish danced in the pan. "You're brave," he said. Or foolish. Or both. I like both. He pulled her into the dark, and the ground melted beneath her feet. The forest bent backward. Gravity forgot itself. Her body floated through something thicker than smoke, but thinner than night. When she landed, they were inside a room, but not a room. It had no walls, only dancing lights, slow-moving shadows, and distant whispers. The air smelled of roasted cola and forgotten secrets. "Here, we hook with the soul, not just skin," he whispered into her ear, breath tickling like feathered fire. Her legs wanted to run. But her heart, it had grown teeth. "Why me?" she asked. He chuckled. "Because you asked to save her. And when you ask the forest for something, it picks a price." She looked down. Her dress had changed. It was red now, like sunset trapped in cloth. His chest glowed with symbols she didn't know, but somehow understood. He reached for her, gently. Not like a man seeking pleasure, but like a boy trying not to break a dream. Their bodies moved like waves unsure of the shore. Every touch told a story. Every breath held a bargain. And when the moment wrapped around them like warm fog, the fire rose high, so high, it touched a place inside her spirit that she didn't know existed. No shame. No fear. Just sacrifice. Then, silence. The fire went out. He stood still. She sat, legs folded, eyes blinking slowly like she'd just stepped out of a trance. A golden light danced around her fingers. Her chest felt heavy, but not tired. Full. Alive. "It is done," he said. She looked at him. The fire in his red eye had dimmed. The empty one had a tear. "You'll find her healed. But not unchanged." "What do you mean?" "She will not remember you left. She will not know what you did. But she will start to forget your name, slowly." Her lips trembled. "That's the cost. You bought her life with a piece of your memory in her." She looked away. The sky above them was now full of birds, flying backward. "Take me back." He nodded once. Snapped his fingers. The fire curled into a spiral. When she opened her eyes, she was outside her mother's hut. The rooster was crowing. The sun was climbing. And inside, her mother laughed. Not coughed, laughed. Her feet barely touched the earth. She walked like someone trying not to wake a dream. Inside the hut, her mother was singing, loudly. Peeling yam like nothing ever touched her lungs. The sickness was gone, like it had packed its bags and run. No cough. No sweat. Just sunshine on her cheeks and a song too sweet to ignore. The girl stood by the door, watching. "You look tired," her mother said, flashing a grin. "Didn't sleep." She nodded slowly. "Not really." "Dreams chasing you." Something like that. Her mother chuckled again, voice clear like water running over pebbles. "Go wash your face, then come eat. I made your favorite." The girl turned away quickly, before the tears betrayed her. She dipped her hands into cold water. It stung. Maybe the fire was still hiding under her skin. Or maybe it was just memory trying to crawl out. She stared at her reflection in the basin. Same face. Same eyes. But her shadow looked heavier. Outside, the village was waking. Children chasing chickens. A goat arguing with a tin bucket. Women shouting greetings like war cries. Normal life was back, but something inside her had shifted sideways. She walked slowly through the compound, people smiling and nodding like always. Except one old woman. The blind one who sat under the twisted irako tree. "You've seen the night boy," the old woman said, without lifting her head. The girl froze. "What?" "I smell his fire on you. That smell doesn't wash off." She swallowed hard. "You know him." The woman laughed. "Not nicely. I knew him before his shadow grew teeth. Before the forest gave him that name. He was once just a boy with a gift. Now, he's a bargain. The girl sat beside her, like her legs made the decision. I did it to save her, she whispered. You think I don't know? The woman reached out, fingers like dried roots, and touched the girl's wrist. You gave him your memory in her. You bought life, but you paid in presents. Will she forget me completely? No. Just the little things first. The way your laugh ends. The smell of your hair after rain. The stories you used to tell when she braided your hair. All of it, one by one, like pages torn from a book. The girl's chest squeezed. I didn't think. No one thinks when love is bleeding, the woman said. Only when it starts to scab. The girl looked at her hands. They still glowed a little. Only when no one was looking. That night, she lay beside her mother. The older woman was humming again, braiding her hair like before. But halfway through, she paused. What song was I humming again? Her mother asked, confused. The girl's heart thumped. It's okay, Mama, she whispered. Keep braiding. And so, the braid was finished. But the thread of memory had already begun to slip. Morning came with mischief. Birds were shouting like drummers gone wild, and one stubborn rooster refused to accept that sunrise had already happened. The girl sat by the river, feet dipped in cold water, eyes chasing ripples. She hadn't slept. Her mother had called her by a different name in the middle of the night. Just once. Just soft. But it had bitten deep. She threw a stone into the river. It sank without a splash, like it knew not to make noise when hearts were breaking. From the trees behind her, a rustle. Not animal. Not wind. Something with purpose. She turned fast. There he was. Leaning against a tree like it was his throne. That same bare chest, symbols glowing faintly like sleeping fireflies. I said I'd be gone, he smirked, but I didn't say forever. She didn't move. Why are you here? He picked a fruit from the ground. Bit into it. Spit it out. Sweet on the outside. Bitter inside, he said. You remind me of it. She rolled her eyes. You're losing pieces, he added, now serious. I know. She won't stop forgetting. I know. He stepped closer. The trees held their breath. The river slowed. You can stop it, he said. Her head snapped up. How? He shrugged. Give me something else. Something stronger. She stood now. Like what? He walked a circle around her. You've already given me memory. What's left? Your name. Your laugh. Your shadow. Or, he paused, grinning, your love. She frowned. You already took it. No. You gave it. That's different. He reached into his chest and pulled out a flame, small, blue, trembling. This is hers now. Inside me. You want it back. She stared at it. It pulsed with her mother's voice. She could feel it. Yes, she whispered. Then you must fall for me. The words spun around her like smoke from wet wood. Nasty. Sticky. Real. Fall for you. Not pretend. Not act. Truth. Heart. If you do, I'll give it back. Fully. She'll remember everything. Even the way you kicked your toe that one time and cried like a baby. She hated that he knew that. Hated it more that he said it with a smile. You're mad. Maybe. But love is a fire. And you've already lit the match. He vanished. Just like that. One blink. Gone. Only the smell of him lingered. That sharp mix of night and danger. She sank back to the river's edge. Water still cold. Sun pretending to shine. Could she love him? The boy who dances in the dark. Would it even be real? Or would it be a lie wrapped in sacrifice? She didn't know. But her mother had called her Ada last night. Her name was Amara. And just like that, a little more of her disappeared. Days passed like lazy goats, wandering with no plan, chewing on time. Her mother was fine. Healthy. Glowing, even. But forgetting became a routine. Every morning brought a new gap, like termites were nibbling at her memories. One morning, she asked, "Where did you get that scar on your arm?" The girl blinked. "You gave it to me, Mama. When I tried to steal roasted corn and you chased me with the broom." Her mother laughed, confused. "Did I? That doesn't sound like me." But it was her. Every bit of it. The girl smiled, but something broke behind her eyes. She walked to the market that day, not to buy anything, but to think where the noise was thick enough to drown her thoughts. She walked past peppers stacked like soldiers. Past a boy playing flute with one eye closed. Past two women arguing over who made the best okra soup in town. And then she saw him. In the middle of it all. Sitting calmly, licking sugarcane. Like he belonged. Like mischief had braided his hair. "You again," she said. He grinned. "I missed you." "Why are you following me?" "I'm not. I live here now." "You live where?" "Wherever you are." She sighed. "You're not funny." Then stop smiling. She cursed under her breath, but her lips betrayed her. They curled. He stood and handed her a stalk of sugarcane. "You like sweet things. Even if you pretend you don't." She took it, mostly out of spite. "Still thinking?" he asked. "About what?" "About me. About us. About the offer." She rolled her eyes. "There is no us. There's me. There's you. And there's a bargain." He tilted his head. "What if it wasn't?" She paused. "What if," he continued, voice soft now, "what if you stopped loving out of sacrifice and started loving out of choice?" She swallowed hard. "You want my heart." "No," he said. "I want you to want me to have it." The words danced around her, barefoot. He stepped closer, their shoulders almost touching. "You saved her once. You could do it again. Completely. Forever. But only if the love is real." She stared at his hands. They weren't threatening. Just there. Waiting. She hated him. She liked him. She didn't know. "Let me take you somewhere," he whispered. Before she could answer, the market faded. She was standing on a hill. Below, a wide river curved like a smile, sparkling with gold. Birds danced in the sky like they had no weight. The air smelled like ripe mangoes and sun. He stood beside her, silent. "This is where I was born," he said. "Before the fire. Before the forest chose me." She looked at him. "You were normal once." He chuckled. "What's normal? I was loved. That was enough." She asked, "What happened?" "The village gave me away." "Why?" "Because I healed someone I wasn't supposed to. A dying child from another clan. They called it betrayal. So the forest took me in. Gave me power. But power is lonely." She said nothing. He looked at her. "But you feel like home." Her breath caught. She turned away. "Stop saying things that sound like songs." He smiled. "Then stop listening like you're hearing music." She didn't sleep that night. Not because she couldn't, but because her dreams were loud. He kept showing up, barefoot in every corner of her mind. Laughing. dancing, whispering things that sounded too soft to be dangerous, but too sharp to ignore. When she woke, she found her mother staring at the wall, fingers tangled in her own hair. "Mama." Her mother turned slowly. "Good morning, child." The word hit her like a slap. Child. Not Amara. Not even my daughter. Just child. She nodded, trying to hold her face together. "Did you sleep well?" Her mother smiled like she didn't hear the question. "I had a strange dream. There was fire. And music. And a boy with eyes like shadows." The girl's heart dropped. She walked outside before her breath betrayed her. He was already there. Sitting under the pawpaw tree, plucking the leaves like he was playing a slow game with time. "You put your face in her dreams," she snapped. He didn't look up. "I didn't mean to." "Liar." "Okay," he said, shrugging. "I meant to." She wanted to slap him. Instead, she sat down beside him, hard. "I'm angry," she said. "I know. I'm confused. I know. I hate how your voice sounds like music sometimes." He smiled, but didn't speak. She plucked a pawpaw leaf. Tore it. Then said, "You said I have to love you, truly." He nodded. "But how can I love someone I don't trust?" He looked up now. "Do you want to trust me?" She hesitated. "Yes." "Then I'll show you something." He reached for her hand. She gave it, slower this time. The world melted again. But this time, it didn't take them to fire or shadow. It took them to a small house. A real one. Mud walls. A tin roof. Flowers in old paint tins. A dog sleeping under the steps. A woman sat outside, braiding a little boy's hair. "That's my mother," he said. The woman was laughing. Singing a lullaby in a language the girl didn't know, but her heart understood. The boy laughed too, eyes glowing, not with magic, just joy. The scene faded. Now it was night. Torches lit the village square. Men shouting. Women crying. The same boy was on his knees. The same woman, his mother, was screaming. Then the forest called. And he answered. The fire swallowed him. The laughter died. The girl's hand shook. Back under the pawpaw tree, she looked at him like seeing him for the first time. "I'm sorry," she whispered. He didn't speak. Just watched her. She reached forward. Touched his cheek. "Do you still know how to laugh?" He gave a soft one. Almost shy. "With you, I might remember." She leaned her head on his shoulder. Didn't say anything else. And for the first time, the fire inside him didn't burn. It warmed. She stopped fighting it. Whatever it was. The pull. The fire. The ache that sat right behind her ribs whenever he smiled sideways. She started noticing him in places he hadn't even entered yet. Like her eyes had become his messengers. Like her thoughts were learning to speak his name without permission. Her mother, meanwhile, was slipping further into forgetting. One afternoon, they were shelling a goosey together, and the older woman looked up, puzzled. "Do you go to school?" The girl blinked. "Mama, I've finished school." Her mother frowned. "Oh, really? That's good. That's very good." Then she returned to her seeds, humming a tune that belonged to a different year. The girl said nothing. She just squeezed the broken shell in her hand until it turned to dust. That evening, she didn't wait for him. She went looking. She found him under the orange tree by the abandoned well, staring into nothing. "Do you know what love feels like?" she asked, breathless from the walk. He turned slowly, eyes flickering. "Sometimes. Not always." "Tell me." He stood. walked a slow circle around her. It feels like waiting for rain, then dancing in dust when it never comes. She nodded. I feel it too. He stepped closer. Then why does it taste like pain? She reached for his hand. Because we didn't water it with choice. We drowned it in need. He stared at her fingers wrapped around his. Do you choose me now? Her voice was soft. Yes. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just true. The earth shifted. Gently. He raised her hand and placed it over his chest. The fire underneath pulsed once, then faded. Then it's yours, he said. All of it. In that moment, she felt her mother's voice returning to her like a song caught by wind. Every memory. Every laugh. Every braid. He leaned forward. Their foreheads touched. No kiss. Just quiet. Then he pulled back. But there's one more thing. She raised a brow. If you take back everything I hold of her, I become hollow. She stared. And I might forget you instead. The words cut like fine thread. He added, if I forget you, don't try to bring me back. Her eyes watered, but her smile held. No. I'll just fall in love with you again. He blinked slowly. You're dangerous. You started it. Then she pressed her palm to his chest. The fire bloomed, blue, gold, then white. Light spun around them, wild but gentle. Like it was dancing for joy. In a blink, he was gone. And she was home. Her mother stood in the doorway, a bowl of stew in her hands. Amara, she shouted, beaming. Where have you been? Come and eat, my daughter. You must be starving. The girl froze. Then ran. And hugged her like she'd been reborn. The stew tasted different that night. Not because of the spices. Or the fresh palm oil. But because it was filled with laughter. Real ones. Not the kind you force to make others feel safe, but the kind that bubbles up when memory returns home. Her mother remembered everything. Even the time she swallowed a bead while playing dress-up and blamed the neighbor's goat. They laughed till their eyes turned red. She wanted to stay inside that joy. Bottle it. Bury it somewhere deep. But part of her heart was already knocking on another door. She went to the old shrine hill. He wasn't there. She waited. Nothing. The crickets sang. The trees swayed. But no fire, no glow, no boy who smelled like burnt secrets. She came back the next day. And the day after. Still, nothing. Not even a whisper in the wind. Her chest grew tight. Not panic, not sorrow, just silence. A kind that sits heavy like a gourd filled with stones. On the seventh night, the blind woman under the irako tree called out as she passed. He's forgotten you. The girl stopped. You saw. I didn't need to. You're walking like someone who's missing their shadow. She swallowed hard. Did I do the right thing? She asked. The old woman smiled without teeth. Love doesn't always end in joy. But it always ends in truth. And that is never wrong. The girl nodded, too tired to cry. But her heart kept whispering his name when her mouth stayed shut. One evening, as she sat by the fire, shelling groundnuts, she heard it. A flute. Faint. Wobbly. Not skilled. But familiar. She stood. Walked toward the sound like someone chasing a smell from childhood. She turned the corner behind her hut, and froze. He was there. Sitting under the same pawpaw tree. Holding a flute badly. Eyes calm. Face blank. She stepped closer. You came back. He looked up. Do I know you? The words cut deep. She kept her smile steady. No, she said. But I know you. He blinked. Have we met? She nodded. Once. In a dream. He stared. Like he was trying to catch a fish that wouldn't stay still. You're glowing, he said. She smiled. So are you. He looked at his hands. I don't remember how I got here. She sat beside him. You were drawn to the tree. Why? Maybe it remembers us, even if you don't. He closed his eyes. I feel peace. That's strange for me. She looked at the sky. Peace is never strange. It's just shy. He chuckled. And her heart danced. There it was. Not a full spark. But a flicker. A tiny crack where light could leak back in. She didn't rush it. Didn't push. She just sat, handed him a groundnut, and said, Start with this. Taste it. He bit. Chewed. Sweet, he said. No, she smiled. It's bitter at first. He paused. Chewed again. Oh, right. You're right. Her eyes watered. But she didn't blink. They met under that pawpaw tree every evening after. No promises. No past. Just two people peeling back moments like roasted corn, slow, unsure, but warm. He never asked who she was again. Maybe he was afraid the truth would run faster than his legs could catch. Maybe he just liked the mystery of it. But he always smiled when she arrived, and that was enough for her heart to grow new feathers. One night, she brought a basket. Gifts? He asked, raising a brow. Memories, she said. He opened the lid. Inside were small things, his flute, a half-burnt leaf, a stone with a hole through it, and a scrap of red cloth. He picked up the cloth. This looks familiar. It's from your old dance rap. The one that caught fire. He touched it gently. How did you get it? She didn't answer. He picked the stone next. This. I used to think it could hear my thoughts. You once told me that. I did. She nodded. He frowned. Did I love you? The question rolled out quiet, like he was scared it might bite him. She looked at him, steady. You loved me with your whole chest. He smiled, then blinked fast like something sharp had passed behind his eyes. I believe it. She reached out. Touched his hand. Then believe it again. He held her gaze. Then whispered, I think I'm beginning to. The trees rustled, but not from wind. It was something else, like nature sighing with relief. He stood. Pulled her up. Dance with me, he said. No drums. No rules. She laughed, and they moved, clumsy at first. Then smoother. Feet scraping the earth, hearts beating like twin drums. He twirled her once. She stumbled. He caught her. She looked up. And for the first time since the fire faded, both his eyes had light. She gasped. Your eyes. He blinked. What? They're full again. He touched his face. I feel whole. She held his cheeks. You remember. He nodded, slowly. Not everything. But enough. She laughed. Then cried. Then laughed again. He wiped her tears with his thumb. Why are you crying? Because you just remembered how to catch my tears. He kissed her forehead. The stars watched. Silent. Jealous. That night, under the same pawpaw tree, they sat with their backs against each other, eating groundnuts and telling half-remembered stories. She told him about the time he dared her to steal palm wine from the chief's pot and how they both got chased by a dog. He laughed till he coughed. I think I still have the scar, he said, lifting his sleeve. She nodded. I still have the bruise on my pride. They stayed like that till the moon leaned close. And when they parted, he said, Tomorrow. Same time. She nodded. Same tree. But as he walked away, a bird flew overhead and dropped a black feather at her feet. She picked it up. It was still warm. And it pulsed. Like a warning. The feather stayed in her hand all night. It didn't glow anymore. It just sat there, quiet, dark, and still, like it was holding its breath. She didn't sleep. Her eyes stayed open, chasing shapes on the roof, listening for sounds that weren't there. But the wind didn't howl. The night didn't speak. Only her thoughts moved. By morning, her feet carried her to the pawpaw tree before the sun remembered to shine. She waited. Basket beside her. Hair undone. Eyes tired. He didn't come. She waited longer. Still, nothing. No flute. No footsteps. No fire. Just a whisper of breeze and the taste of worry. Then she heard it. Not a voice. Not a sound. But a feeling. A tug, soft and sharp, like someone was pulling her spirit from the inside. She stood. Walked toward the forest. Past the red clay hill. Past the silent shrine. Past the part where leaves stopped dancing. The trees grew tighter, like they didn't want her to pass. But she did. Then she found him. On the ground. Curled. Shaking. His fire had returned, but wild. Angry. Blue lightning crackled from his chest. She rushed to him. He looked up. His eyes were back to one light, one shadow. I told you, he said, voice cracking. If I remembered too much, it might burn. She touched his face. Hold on. I can't. You will. He groaned. The forest wants me back. The magic was never meant to be shared. It's pulling me under. Her fingers dug into his shoulders. No. Not after everything. He coughed. Hard. Smoke slipped from his mouth. If I vanish, he said, don't come looking. Just remember me while I still fit inside your smile. No, she whispered. Yes, he said. Then take it, she snapped. He frowned. What? My shadow. My fire. My breath if you need it. He shook his head. That's not love. It's my choice. And before he could argue, she leaned in. Pressed her forehead to his. And breathed in. All of him. The pain. The memory. The power. The ground shook. A cry echoed through the forest, not hers, not his, something older. Then silence. When the dust cleared, she was on her knees. Alone. The feather floated down from the sky and landed in her palm. It was white now. Clean. Still warm. From behind her, footsteps. She turned. He was there. Standing tall. Eyes clear. No fire. Just him. Only him. I'm still here, he said. She blinked. You are. He looked at her, soft. But you're glowing. She smiled. I borrowed a little of your fire. They stood like that, nothing between them but breath. Then he whispered, come home. She nodded. Together, they walked out of the forest. Past the tight trees. Past the place where leaves stopped dancing. Past the shrine and red clay hill. The pawpaw tree greeted them like an old auntie. The wind returned. The sky opened wide. And when they reached the village, her mother was waiting with a bowl of ripe mangoes and a knowing smile. No one asked where they had been. Because some stories aren't for telling. They're for feeling. For carrying. For keeping warm on nights when memory goes silent.